So
Yeah.
lead us into this a little bit. So before you even do the ayahuasca weekend, somebody
So the thing was, my sister, Marla, you're probably with her on Facebook, but she looked it up and did the research, and she called me and asked me if I wanted to go. And at first I was like, yeah, hell yeah. I like psychedelic drugs and everything. And, I didn't really do the research on it. I just knew it was like a peyote type of thing.
Yeah.
So I immediately said yes. But then I started researching it. And I was like, holy shit, what did I sign myself up for? Because it seemed like most people are talking about it like a medicine. And that you're going to, have to overcome some things that you hold down, like some demons that you hold down inside,
Yeah.
And I was like, did I just sign up for one of the things that I'm so scared of dealing with? And I got scared, and timing wasn't right, so I backed out, but I just pushed it back, and then I wanted my sister to go.
Yeah.
The user always like guinea pigs. So
obviously.
Tell me what it's your sister. Did I make the right choice here?
Yeah.
But,
yeah, and I remember when she came back, you told me about her experience, and that's what sort of made you like, oh, okay, this is something that I need to do.
I started taking it seriously then. Then I started, it wasn't just going to do a psychedelic drug. It was like, let me change myself.
Yeah, it's supposed to be,
it's open.
It's supposed to be, isn't it supposed to be some kind of, it's like an ultimate flushing of your subconscious and superego and all of this shit and a lot.
It does hit on a lot of that, yes.
Yeah, so.
But it's different for everybody. This is the one thing I totally learned when I was there. And this is like, at first it was uncomfortable watching all the people, but then once it started going in and things started making sense, and you started seeing the pain that these people were in, and everyone was going through something different, and they were, dealing with it in a different way, and it was just amazing to me. I was like, wow, this is like so great. I think everyone should do it.
Yeah. So let's
yoga. Everything. This is expanding your mind, and you're seeing people really overcome some fucked up things. And it makes you cry and want to take their pain away.
So where
start it off. Bring us back.
Where do you go for this, and how large of a group are you with when you're, and just give us the whole,
what's the surroundings?
What is the environment?
Yeah. So you do have to join a church.
Okay.
This is a loophole.
Yeah.
Thing.
So you could do it legally.
Is trying to shut it down and everything.
Okay.
Here in the States, it's normally done in like Peru or Brazil or something like that.
Yeah.
And so to have it here in the States, I had to join a church.
Nice. Hello, brother.
Yeah. And they don't preach. You don't have to go to any services or anything. It's a loophole.
Yeah, it's a loophole.
Yeah, totally.
We know. Yeah.
But it really is
church stuff.
Done like a church. There's,
but
a lot of them are just volunteers. Most people there are just volunteers because they say that they've done it before, like a lot, and then it's almost more gratifying watching other people go there and do it and, deal with stuff. They said it's better than doing it yourself.
Huh.
So everyone is
crazy.
Asked if you want to come back, you could come back as a helper too.
And you get like a discount. Now, how much does this thing like this cost?
It's on the pricey side.
Yeah.
I think it's like what was it, like $1,500 or something like that.
Okay. So you join the church, then you go to what kind of location?
Oh, so then they do like Zoom meetings, and they have a diet. You can't have sex for 2 weeks before. You can't masturbate. You can't
really
smoke weed. You have to go through this whole diet. No salts. Probably staying away from meats, pork especially. Like it's rigorous. Okay. I didn't do the diet.
You didn't?
No.
Obviously.
Among other things too.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
You're jerking off on the way there.
The place I was at, I was just like. So, but the next time, if I do go, which I will, I'm definitely going to do it more. You prepare a little bit better.
All right, so before you go, they're Zoom meetings, and they're supposed to be doing all this preparation, which you weren't doing. So then what happens?
Do they say why you're supposed to do this? Do they give you reasons for it?
You know what? I think it's just to have your body more cleansed. So
but they didn't get into it. Like they didn't. Okay. All right. Yeah. So then you do all this. You fly out.
So then through emails, they tell you the address, the date you're scheduled for, everything like that. And then you just get a plane ticket, fly out there. They supposedly had someone pick people up from the airport, but I just Ubered there. So I was running real late. And so now I'm in Florida. I arrive at the place. You have to see a medical doctor. He takes your blood pressure, asks you some questions, and then gives you your wristband to go in.
Okay.
When you go in, there's little one big long room hut that you have, and there's many of them, sliding glass doors. It's really nice. You walk in, there's tapestries of all this trippy stuff, and there's all these mats laid down on the floor. So that's where you're sleeping with all these people. Weird. And there's a bucket next to each bed, a white bucket.
Okay.
But you're like, oh shit. So you drop off your stuff, and then there's a meeting in the main thing. What was it called?
The Hall of Dreams.
But anyways, but this was a big round building. And the same thing, all the mats. But they had a big star showing which way was north, which at the time I didn't really think much of, but that actually comes back into play.
Okay.
For some reason, I just turned north. I couldn't get comfortable until I turned full north, and that's when something major happened.
Oh, really?
But, it was crazy. I didn't even realize I was doing it. I don't think of those things,
Yeah. Okay,
but
so
anyways,
there's a meeting.
We're in there, and there's a big Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of answers. They tell you what to expect, but leave all expectations out, how you have to be open to it. Talk about how...
don't fight it, kind of?
Uncomfortable. What was that?
I said, don't fight it? Is that what they're...
Yeah.
No, that could be definitely
absolutely.
That's a common thread with a lot of psychedelics. Is you can embrace it and have a really awesome time, or you can kind of fight against the tension of it, and end up in a weird place, and be very uncomfortable. Yeah.
It does take a. I totally understand what they meant when they I didn't realize it. When you hear it, you think you understand it, but then when you're there, you're like, oh, I really do need to let this in and just let it go. You can't fight it, you know?
Yeah. And I'm sure ayahuasca is a hell of a lot harder than fucking regular old mushrooms or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
A lot.
I know that feeling.
Night and day,
yeah. I know that feeling on regular psychedelics.
Shrooms, I've done acid.
Yeah.
This is nothing like it.
Okay, so...
Absolutely nothing.
So they give you these instructions, and then how does the whole thing get going?
All right, so then, you see all the different ranges of people. You have young people. I mean, there's people there that were 75 years old, 80 years old.
Wow.
People in wheelchairs, no hands, no legs. All different guys that look like monks,
Yeah.
Guys, all different range of people. And you're like, holy shit. I thought it was just going to be all hippies.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Huh.
And they're some of them were doctors, what I realized. But then, so anyways, they have a big ceremony. So the facilitators are all dressed in white, and they even explain this. When they walk around, they're going to walk around really slowly. Their movements are going to be really slow. They're going to talk in a really gentleness to you, because when you're on it, that gentleness is you fall in love with these people. You're just you just look at them with such appreciation and going, you guys are amazing.
Huh.
What they do there, those people that are the helpers and the facilitators are just amazing. They're making your trip go awesomely. And that's the whole point.
Okay.
But, so anyways, there's a big ceremony. You go up and they blow smoke on you, right? And you have to cleanse yourself. It's the sage?
Okay.
Yeah.
So they blow smoke on you, and they give you so they ask it. It was my first time, so they only gave me a half a tablespoon, and it's in a shot glass. And
Yum.
they do a little prayer over it, and you hold it to your heart, and you ask the drink what you want to gain from it.
Yeah, set an intention.
Mine was obviously, I wanted to conquer some stuff. I had a lot of anger, self-destructiveness, and the death of Brooklyn. I just was.
Yeah. So
I was really open and willing to do this.
Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know this, hold on one second. Yeah. So some years back, Sam lost his daughter. So this was a main part of why you were going there, sort of, is to somehow reconcile with that or somehow. So that was the intention.
In situations to self-destruct because I didn't feel like I deserved happiness.
Yeah.
Because I took guilt on that. And that was something I needed. And I bottled it up because right when that happened, I never really got proper time to grieve.
Yeah.
Because then there was the arrest.
Yeah.
You know, then now you're in prison.
Yeah, then he went to prison.
All these things, and you're just, every time the thought of it comes up, you just push it down. And go, I can't deal with this now. I got other stuff I got to deal with.
Yeah.
You know?
Jesus Christ. So.
Even though the first part was, horrible. And it was very dark. So it was also, a defense mechanism from going off the deep end.
Yeah.
Because there was I felt like there was this monster living down inside of me, that's going to explode on someone, or anything like that. I just held all this aggression down, and I was bringing it out on myself.
Yeah.
So I had reasons to go, and like I said, my sister went, and she just like, Sam, no one needs this more than you. She was like, I can't wait for you to do it. We talked, we cried for 2 hours straight. It was one of the most amazing conversations, and I was just like, I was so jazzed to go after that. Sorry about my voice. I've been sick.
No, you're good.
You're fine.
Yeah. Okay, so
they give like Barry White.
Yeah, no, you sound sultry. You're seducing me. Okay, so they blow the smoke on you, they cleanse you, they pray over the thing, and now you take it. Now, what do you do?
No, you bring it back to your mat.
Okay.
So I had this mat right next to this the air conditioner.
Okay.
And, which was really cool because when the air conditioner was on and I like set my back against, because none of the hut, there was no walls. It was walls just on the outside, and then you had your studs, and they were like sprayed with like almost like a spray foam. So the whole room was covered in this spray foam. Weird. And they make it really dark in there and just have like a couple of candles, and it's crazy. But anyways, so we go back to your mat, you sit there with it in front of you. Then your house, I was in, what was I in? What was it? Oh, I have the badge right here. I keep the badge.
A state of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Lotus. So I was in the Lotus. I couldn't think of the name, but I was in Lotus.
Okay.
So that was my hut, the Lotus hut. And the facilitator, I don't know how the other, huts had, but my guy was awesome. I'm not even kidding. That guy was the best guy. He was this former, military guy. And after talking to him a while, you find out, man, this guy did some stuff he cannot forgive himself for. And he said he was like, I was waking up every day with that voice just saying, just end it, just kill yourself. And he's like, this saved me. And he took it so serious, and it's helped him so much, and now he's helping other people.
Yeah.
But this guy gets it, and I just never knew, because he does like a whole little speech before you take this, and he's like showing how you're like curled up and how he's just open, and he like throws his arms open, and the way he's talking about how you have to approach this was so okay, it was like almost a pump up speech,
Okay.
Like a coach gives a basketball player or something.
Okay.
So now you go and take it, and everyone just takes it and then lays down in their mat, and so I was like, fuck it, I'll just lay down too. So everyone's just laying there, and all of a sudden this music starts, and it's this ayahuasca type of music. There's a playlist that I got on my Spotify. It's really weird, but I get it now. I thought it going into it. My sister sent me the playlist, and I'm like, oh, this is some hippie shit. But no, I get it now. I get it now.
Okay.
And you'll understand why.
Yeah.
So
the music starts,
and it's almost like the start of the drug. It's just got a chime with a bell and then a loud ringing sound. And you're just like, oh, it's just sounds,
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's building something up. So now the buckets are there for people to purge. Now people purge in a lot of different ways, but a lot of people puke. So
I mean, there's really only two or three ways, right? I mean, are they coming up? Are they coming up with new ways in there, or what's going on?
It was
they're opening up their belly buttons.
I had to shit a lot. That was my purge, but most of my purge was crying.
Okay.
Like, I just constantly had tears coming down my eyes just the whole time.
Wow. Okay.
So, and some people sweat, some people shiver. They purge in different ways.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I immediately, before anything starts kicking in, you know, I'm like, I should go to the bathroom, because I was nervous about this, because everyone's talked about the shitting, and like, even at one point, someone was just like, they said like we have diapers. And I'm like, am I going to take something that's just going to force me to just shit myself, and I can't do anything about it?
Yeah.
So I was like, I should go shit before this kicks in.
Yeah.
So but you can't walk by yourself because you took the medicine. So you have to raise your hand, and I'm like, I'm going to go to the washroom. And she's like, okay, let me escort you. And I'm like, do I need escort? Like, you know, do you need to come with me? She hands me up to another woman, and they bring me to this bathroom, which is an open door, 4-bathroom with just curtains over the toilets, right?
Okay.
So I go in there, and I'm like, I start feeling my stomach start bubbling, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, like good thing I came, you know. But the girl is standing right on the outside of the freaking hut, and I'm like, can I get some privacy? You know, she's like, we're all in the nature here. Oh, and I was just like, okay, like, you want to stand there and listen to me blow this shit up? Like, that's on you, you know?
Yeah.
But I felt very uncomfortable. So then,
of course, dude.
while I'm in the bathroom,
like
I look at the bathroom wall, or the stall wall, and I start seeing, like, designs forming on it. And I'm like, oh, this is going to start kicking in, you know? So now I'm excited. I get done, wash my hands. She starts walking me back, and I'm talking to her. I'm like, yeah, you know, I feel like I'm a little bit distracted. But, you know, because I was trying to make her feel guilty for standing right outside the door, you know? So, and I was like, I just hang out outside, because I was looking up at the clouds, and I'm like, dude, the clouds are doing some fucking crazy shit. So I'm like, I want to enjoy this, you know? So I'm like, I stayed outside for a little bit. She's like, absolutely. They sit down by there's like a campfire.
Yeah.
So I sit down by this fire, and I'm just looking up, and there's mats out there, too, like little rugs. And they'll come up, and like, while you're sitting there, someone will come up and be like, do you want a blanket? Do you want a pillow? And I'm like, what? Dude, I collected so many blankets during this whole thing. I had like 6 of them. But anyway. So I'm laying down, I'm looking at the clouds, and all these shapes, like the clouds turn into blocks. Like, all of a sudden, it was like opening portals. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I wanted to be like, everyone needs to come out here and look up, because no one else is doing it. Everyone's in the hut, you know, where it's all dark. You know, and everyone's just laying on mats, and I'm looking outside. I'm like, this is the enjoyable part of, like, the drug part, I think, of the ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Because I'm hallucinating really good. So then I'm like, maybe I should go in and see what inside's all about, you know?
Yeah.
So I get escorted inside. I go to my mat. I sit down, and I'm like, all right. You know, and I'm like, looking around. I hear some guy just throwing up over and over and over again. But it's dark, and at one point, start going, is this the music? Because it's like, just constant. And it's really loud and echoey. You know?
Like, this fucking song sucks, dude.
Yeah.
But this guy's not like dying. I'm not even kidding you. It was horrible. And it was very distracting. I was having that first night, I had a very long time before I could get into it, because I was so distracted by
the guy dying.
Dude, the one guy was puking. I was frustrated with the woman that stood outside the door. The girl next to me was just like laying there, but bawling her eyes out. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, you know, and then you hear someone, you know, burp, or someone else, you know, do something.
I gotta tell you,
echoey, and you're just like,
so far, this sounds like a complete nightmare to me. Like, I would fucking try to run away, dude.
This only happened for like I said, maybe an hour. For me. So, anyways, so the way I thought is when I had my eyes open, like, this is the beginning part of the trip, and I only did a half tablespoon. So when my eyes were open, I was enjoying the drug. Because when my eyes were open, I was seeing some crazy shit. Like I said, the air conditioner was vibrating the wall. The vibration in that room, I mean, the guy was walking by, and he has this shaker. You know, you got to imagine, it's dark out. He's in all white.
Yeah.
Long beard, long hair. And he's, like, walking real slow, and he's shaking the shaker to the song. and it's intensifying. And there's this girl sitting in the back, Indian style, all the way in the back with like this Indian headdress on, and she's like blowing a whistle at certain points. And I'm just like sitting back, and this one girl is dancing like a snake. I'm like, holy shit! And the vibration,
you're in a
it
cult.
was like such a cool like, trip.
Drugs are hilarious
So
because
much better than acid and stuff. Like the guy's whole head turned around, and you're just looking at me, shaking the shaker, and when he blew the smoke in my face. Wow, it was really crazy.
This is how great drugs are, though. Like, if you were in that situation completely sober, you'd be fucking horrified.
Yeah.
You know? Just like, we can get the fuck out of here now.
Yeah.
Dude.
I handle drugs really well. I totally realize I took something. I got to enjoy it. If I fight that part of it,
drugs are awesome.
Creeped out, it could bring me into a bad place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm always good with drugs like that.
So when your eyes are open, though.
Oh, yeah. So I'm enjoying that part. Now, I saw everyone laying down with their eyes shut, and I had this overwhelming, my eyes were tearing, and I had this overwhelming feeling just like I should lay down too, you know? So I lay down, I closed my eyes, and I'm not even kidding you. Now, it gets totally different now. You don't stop seeing shit, you know? But now it's fragments and colors, and they're dancing around like those ayahuasca pictures with all the different colors.
Yeah, the DMT.
Like
yeah,
the DMT. This is what you're seeing when your eyes are shut. So there's points where I was like, open my eyes real quick, and I'm back into the thing where everything's vibrating. There's the guy shaking the thing, and I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm going to go back there. This is why all the people are just laying there with their eyes shut, because they're journeying. That's when you journey.
Yeah.
So my eyes are shut, and, dude, starts with the drug. It's more than just visually seeing it. It's a whole feeling. Your emotions, your attachment to these people, everything about it, that when you see something, you know it. You know, it's almost like they're there.
It's a real, yeah. Okay.
It's really weird because it's not just seeing it, you know. You're feeling it. You're like, holy shit. So when all this stuff's going on in my head where I'm seeing all these, like, you know, shapes and different figures and stuff, all of a sudden this woman with hair walks by and looks at me, and it's my mom. And I was just like, oh my God. And she smiled at me, and she was red. Her design, she was red. Just like my sister told me when she saw my mom, was she had
their mom
red
is no longer living.
hue. Yeah. So that part started creeping me out. So I was just like, I wanted to see her again. And then also my sister said she saw Brooklyn, which hers color was purple, and she had a message for me. And Marla told me the message, right? And I was just like, okay, but when I went there, I'm expecting this.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to see Brooklyn. Now, that first night, I didn't see Brooklyn. The colors didn't come off, didn't happen, but something else happened. So at one point, I sat up, and me, Tom, I don't sit Indian style, right?
No.
Because I'm just unflexible, and I always just hurt my knees.
Yeah.
Well, I was sitting Indian style, perfectly straight up. Like, if you saw one of those pictures with the guy Indian style, like a white hue, right? Yeah. That's what I became, all right? So I was sitting there, and I wasn't me anymore. I was just this outline of me, right?
Yeah.
And all this energy bouncing and flying all around me. It was just energy. It was all different colors. And I was just like, holy shit. So now all that is happening, I have this vision, almost like watching a movie. And it was this Indian, Native American guy with two kids. He's walking by this stream, and he's like sort of pointing out stuff, showing like, teaching his kid. He was a very family man. I understood who this man was, right? Yeah. And I was just like, I understand like the type of person he is and what moral values he has and all this stuff. And I started feeling like I'm not me. I'm almost feeling like him. So that was my first night. Okay. Now that will make sense a little bit later on, but that's my first sense. So when this ends, in the middle of it too, they do a gong, like they hit a gong, and they turn on this like the fire lights. Now you could go out and do more, which I did. So then instead of a half a tablespoon, I did 1 tablespoon. So when the trip ends, so you just look around. Everyone's in such deep thoughts. Like it's hard to even talk because your mind is just, you can't concentrate on anything because you're just thinking like and processing what you just did.
Yeah.
Where was I? Who was I?
Yeah.
Like, what was that all about? Like, you have a lot of questions.
Yeah. Are you to the point during that you, like, can you kind of reasonably interact with the other people there? Or is everybody in their own fucking, like, bubble?
Nope, you don't interact with anyone while they're on the drug because you don't know who, and they explain this in the Q&A, you don't know whose energy that they want during their journey. So it's really, you don't talk to anyone.
But could you?
I mean, you could look over at them.
Yeah.
But like if you
or something.
So if you had, but what I mean is, like, were you in the state where you would have been capable of conversation in any way, or
not really?
Yeah, because you call over to the facilitators, like they even said during.
So you can still
even if you just want someone to talk to, you don't know whose energy is going to be positive for you. That's why the facilitators are there. So it's like, if you want a hug, if you want, just to have a conversation, all you have to do is raise your hand, and one of them will come over. And they gently sit next to you, and they go, "What's on your mind? What's going on?" Then you go, "I have to go to the washroom," or everyone's real quiet.
But so you're able to like form sentences and shit. That's that. Okay, you're not like so out of it that okay. But at the same time, you're like really living this experience in a different dimension, though.
Yeah, because you have the things that are hard are like getting up, going to the bathroom, standing, thinking about what time it is, thinking about what you should be doing. All those things are so confusing, but life is so much more clear. You're figuring stuff out. Your brain is opening up to something that it's going to take a while for you to get. This is the first part of it. And that first night, the music was kind of aggressive. As the days go on, it gets less and less. But I understand why it's aggressive. They're bringing up all that stuff. They say if you see something nice or the devil, go towards the devil because you need to go there. That the monster, the whatever it is. Yeah. Go near there because that's where this is a part of you. You want to face that.
Okay.
So you can overcome it.
So did that happen?
So then, first night, no, but there's, like you said, you're processing it, and everyone is. Then I'm a smoker, and people just walk around the compound and stuff, and you sit there and you talk to people, and people start talking about their experience, and confusion and all this stuff, right? So then the next day, you wake up, you have a little meeting with the guy, and you go around and you tell everyone sort of what happens and how you feel and why you're here and where you're from. Like it was like a whole introduction to everyone.
Okay,
so that's the second day. So we do that, and hearing some of these people's stories are crazy. For their privacy, I'm not going to tell them. There's things, but a lot of them were like verge of suicide and stuff like that. Like this was like
a last ditch,
their last hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's some crazy stories. I felt so my first night, I felt so much appreciation towards everyone. I felt so much love. I saw all these people going through their shit. And I wanted to hug them and, put my hand on their heart and just be like, let me take some of that burden from you. Because I hated seeing them do it, but then you felt so happy that they're doing something about it,
Yeah.
And you just felt I just had so much love for everything. That first night, the only time, I had my phone off the entire weekend, but I only turned it on just to text my sister how much I loved her.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you mill around. Then the next day, you get up.
So the next day, we did that whole thing, and now I'm out smoking, of course. I'm walking back. I'm like, where is everybody? Everyone's like, oh, dude, they're fucking starting it. And I'm like, what? And so this guy, really nice guy, he's like, I'll give you a ride. I jumped on this golf cart, and we went over there. So now I go up, and I talk to a guy, and he's like, how much did you do yesterday? And I was like, a half tablespoon. This is my first time. And then I did a full one. He was like, okay, well, what would you like to do? And I go, how much can I get? And he's like, let's just go with 2.5 to start, And I was like, okay. He's like, I'm just going to say it's 2.5 so tomorrow when you do it, or later on, you do it later on that night.
Yeah.
So when now you have a reference to it, so you know how much more to take. So I do 2.5.
That seems like a lot.
And this is now the daytime. We're at a different spot. We're all laying outside. And there's these beautiful trees, and they have those, those Native American, I think, or even Mexican, those things that are like split, but they're like designs, and they spin in the wind.
Oh yeah,
when they hit
totally.
the sun.
Yep.
Dude, that thing took me into another world. But anyways, so I totally understood why people made those. But anyways, so now I do the same thing. I take it. I have to see Brooklyn, and all this stuff. So now I'm laying down. No one's really puking there,
Okay.
But all of a sudden, since I took 2, it was involuntarily. Like, I laid back and then immediately popped up and grabbed my bucket and barely made it. And just throwing up like you wouldn't believe. But the music now is all about love. Okay? This now daytime trip, the music's not intense. It's really calm, and it's all about love.
Okay.
And missing someone and forgiving people. Now, this is why I'm purging, right? Not because of the drink. It was because it was about love. These are things. That is the only time I purged, is when I heard songs about love and missing people, because that's what I have to deal with, someone I love and miss dearly, right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So when you're purging, like when you're puking like that, do you feel like you're getting rid of some shit, or does it just feel like you're puking?
For me, Marla said she had a different. I'm guessing it's different for everybody. For me, I was just like, it felt like I needed to like take a step back, like, oh my God, like breathe. I need to breathe. Yeah. It was rough. The puke was rough, and I needed to breathe. Right.
Okay.
So I lay down, and now I'm kind of tense, and I have blankets. This blanket's covering me, and I have a pillow behind my head, and my legs are crossed, and this is where now I turn my body. I could not get comfortable. I had to turn my body. Now I find out later that I was facing due north. My head was facing due north, and I had to go straight. And when I was straight, then all of a sudden I was like, I have to expand my arms and uncross my legs. I need to relax because that throw up, it might come back up any second. So now I'm laying there, and with my eyes shut, and I'm, sometimes they're open, and I'm seeing really cool things, and I'm feeling like a lot of feelings. Then all of a sudden, I start breathing really calmly. Now, when I say I've never been more calm or peaceful or anything in my life, this was it. It got to the point where I didn't even have breaths to take because I wasn't breathing. I couldn't open my eyes or shut my eyes because I didn't have eyelids. I wasn't in my body, right?
Yeah.
And this white light of energy starts forming around me, and I'm this ball of energy, and I'm in the air now, and I'm in the cosmos, flying through space. I'm searching for a home, and I'm just sitting there, and I can't tell you how calm and peaceful, and all I felt was love. Like, it was so profound. And then I started understanding what was going on. I wanted to hear my daughter say her message. Sorry, just give me 1 second.
No, go ahead.
It's a very emotional thing.
Yeah, no.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need a second, let us know. But yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways,
so yeah, your whole intention was...
I wanted to hear my daughter say she's okay and all that stuff. The drug it knew that wouldn't have been enough for me. I could have questioned it. I needed to know. That's my personality. You know me. I need to know things. I don't let things go. Someone's doing something wrong. I need to figure it out. And I need, so I needed to know. It was showing me this is what my realization was during this. It was showing me what that was like. That my energy left my body, my vessel that I carry, and that energy feels nothing but love, peace, and calmness, and no worries at all. And this Indian man that I saw on the first night, his energy is what came in, helped me become me. I share energy with this person. Now, all my DNA, which when I was younger, I always had this, from the time, Indian art,
his whole life,
room,
it was just constant,
I was
like,
very
marks
fascinated
beads. Yeah.
And learning about them.
Yeah. Obsession.
So my mom's Italian, and what do I ask her to teach me how to make? The Navajo fry bread. Because I was just like, that was like my favorite meal. There was a weird connection. And I asked my mom, which was an incredibly wise, beyond...
Yeah. Your mom was also not of this world.
She was a strange type of wise.
Yeah.
She understood a lot of things. Anyways, I asked her, do I have any Native American blood in me? She's like, no. She's like, but you might have a little bit of Indian in you, but that's something you have to find, right? This is what she said a long time ago, and I was like kind of confused, but I still always wanted to know.
Okay,
when this all happened, and I started realizing that this is that shared energy that I felt, and I was like, wow. And what other people told me, what they were seeing, everyone saw something different. One person thought they saw themselves as a caveman. One person saw themselves as a Spartan. One guy said he was an Egypt guard back in the Pharaoh days. Like, this is, and I started going, did anyone think that that's something that you might have shared energy with, like that human? And I said, when I said I understood him, I understood his morals and values and stuff. That's what he brought to me. So that was a great realization. There was one point. Then after that, I finally came back, and I was like, okay. And I sat up, and I was like, just breathing, like, whoa, what just happened? And I was looking around, and everyone's doing it. They're not like last night. Someone was puking. There was people, you could see them soaring. You know what I mean? And you're like, holy cow. But there's one lady was crying her eyes out. My facilitator was talking, and he's pointing out and waving his arms across the whole crowd of people laying down on the mat, like saying, look at them. They're all healing. You're healing. You're going through it, because she was bad.
Freaking out, yeah.
Yeah, there's some people that backed out of the day trip. They paid for it, and they backed out and went home after the first night.
Yeah.
It was bad for some people.
I could believe it.
Yeah. Differently.
No,
just kidding. But it was bad for some people. And everyone just begged them to stay. They're like, stay, because the next day started connecting another piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, you were okay, I want to go back to one thing though. Like when you're laying there and you unconsciously shift your body to this position that you just for some reason knew that you had to be in, and then are enveloped in this white light, and so you said you're not breathing, you don't have eyes, you don't have any. So was it like as if you just didn't have a body, you were just you? It was, but did you feel? It was
really weird. I even, like I said, tried. I don't know if I tried opening my eyes, but when I went to go do it, I was just like, I had no eyelids, and then I was like, I'm not even breathing. I don't feel the grass or anything below me. There's nothing, and I was just sitting there, and I'm like just being formed into this white light of energy. While this is going on, I couldn't open up my eyes. Remember, I said the first night when I opened up my eyes, I could end where I was journeying.
Yeah.
There was no ending this. I couldn't open my eyes because I didn't have eyelids. And I couldn't, nothing. There was no lungs, so I couldn't breathe. I was just.
That's so fucked up.
It was, like I said, it sounds crazy, but seriously, it's the most profound, enlightening thing that you go through, because even if it is just stimulating your mind to. Yeah. Move, it's almost like it feels like an evolution stage where you're like, I needed this because Mother Earth gives you this plant that could give you answers that you desperately seek. And it's in the way that you need to get the answer too. Because everyone dealt with something else. There's a lady that, like I said, she came for her death of her kid and witnessed and saw a guy. The voice told her, your son's here. And she's looking at this guy, and the guy looked at her, and she's like, you're my kid. And
like a real person.
It would have been the same age as her kid would have been. She's a doctor. He's a doctor in the same field, but she was black and this guy was white. But they were they both felt it, and that was a crazy story when they were talking about it.
Wow.
And I was sitting right in back of this woman. And I saw her looking at this guy, just smiling and sort of laughing. And I was just like, because everyone was really happy that day. But when I heard that story, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, all right. So then, what happens next? So when you come out of this, how do you even come out of this though? Like you just,
what do you mean?
Like it just starts wearing off, and you're just like, oh, I'm not in space. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's really weird how it works. It really is. It's hard to explain how it works. It's just, you don't even, sometimes, like I said, you don't realize it until after it's done. Like, I didn't realize I didn't have eyelids until
Sure.
Like,
oh, yeah.
My eyes open or
kind of
shut.
like,
that was like a question I thought. My eyes open or shut? I can't tell. And then I was trying to open my eyes, and I was just like, wait, I don't have eyelids.
And then is it like at some point you just kind of come back online and you don't really realize what the fuck was just going on? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the way
you experience that with high doses of other shit.
I'm going to take you on this journey.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something, and now it's,
Yeah, I mean, I've had sort of.
I could relate to that thing where you're just all of a sudden in the room and you're like,
oh shit, have I been here this whole time? Yeah, like
the fuck did we do? What is happening?
Yeah, yeah. When I would do high doses of acid, that would happen, but not
That's
to
when
work.
I would sit up and I was just like breathing, and I was like, I had to look around and be like, okay, and then
So that was day 2, right?
That was day 2, the daytime trip.
Okay,
so in the daytime, laying in the woods amongst the trees. I felt so much connection to everything. It was unbelievable. And then how much of a connection I felt to everyone, and some was stronger than the other, but everything, plants, the ground, every bug, like everything. It was a weird connection that we're all connected. We all share energy, and all our energy somehow. It's almost like Avatar. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Started feeling like that. It was really crazy.
So you felt like a connectedness to everything. Like it just, okay.
Yeah.
So
it's like the Native Americans' belief.
Right.
So I'm thinking, this is where you start thinking, this is something that's, ingrained in your mind, and it's like a core belief that drug just enhances it. So maybe if someone else believed in Buddha, they're going to go on a journey where they're going to see Buddha and they're going to see this. You know what I mean? So that's where it's different for everybody. It's not showing you what the answer, but it's showing you what you need and what you want to see.
Okay, so
if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you come out of that one.
Yeah.
And now what? Okay, so then whatever. What next?
Oh, so now you go back and now you're supposed to eat, but the food is very bland. It's like I said, it looked like a green soup with potatoes and beans, but it was nourishment and it was really good. You know, and I even felt like just feeling like thank you to the plants for having to die so I could have this nourishment. Like it was like I started feeling differently towards a lot of things after this trip because of the connection I felt, and I saw these sparks on these people. So now I'm sitting by the, having a smoke, and there's this young couple, right? The girl has piercing through her nose, tattoos everywhere. She was in my hut. And so her and her boyfriend are walking by, and we just, glanced at each other. Because during the thing, you could see sparks of energy, and you could almost feel the energy that you want. A lot of the times when I met someone, I was just like, you have a great energy. That was my, guys saw their energy. It was just the way it was. And then some people's energy, you're like, you didn't see a lot of it. This helped in a different sense of my life, is in relationships and stuff like that. I started noticing what's really important in a relationship, and being with someone is totally different than what, you want it to be or think it is. It's more about this connection, because that is what really people are envious of. You could find that one person where that energy is just both booming. And I saw it in this couple, and I was just like, wow, I'm like, this is kind of amazing. But we just were drawn to each other, and we just started talking. And the way the guy did, he just walked up, and he's like, hey. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, feel like talking for a little bit? And I was like, yeah. So his girlfriend sat down and started talking to me. I was just like, oh, it's really cool. And I even said, I was like, yeah, I looked over at you guys. I was like, at one point, and I'm like, the energy was crazy, because I was telling everyone about the energy bubbles, or now like Donnie Darko with the little bubble formed to people. It was like that, but it wasn't the bubble. It was like energy. I could see my energy drawing to those people's energy. You know what I mean? Which made them even brighter. And you're just like, wow, and you start seeing those are people I probably get along with in real life, and they felt it too.
Yeah, that's weird that it's all mutual though. That's the thing that makes it odd.
Exactly.
I mean, also,
there was some where my energy just went over to them, and I didn't see the spark. I didn't see their energy.
Huh. All right. So then, is there another ceremony that day though?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then later on, you do the other one. And now this is where I'm like, give me 3. Oh, actually, I asked for 4, and they're like, we're going to give you 3. I was like, okay. Because I really now, this is my last night, I'm begging to see Brooklyn,
Yeah.
But, however, so when I said, like, it showed me that and stuff, that was, I still wasn't processing it as that.
Okay.
I just saw myself as energy flying through the thing, and that was the meaning of that was with this Indian guy.
Yeah.
Right? But the realization was this night that we all have energy, and our energy is shared. So, and all she felt was peace, love, and all this stuff, and her energy is with someone else now. Like, my energy will, when I die, will be with someone else,
Yeah. Okay, so you take
or
3.
Shared, like a little bit of it. A little bit of that energy splits up because we're all connected. Like I said, this was a process of a lot of, when you come off of it, there's a lot of processing. You're just sitting there thinking. Everyone's really quiet because everyone's in deep, deep thought. You can see it.
Yeah.
But,
okay, so you take 3.
This time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one was kind of weird. I was tripping a lot. I wasn't seeing anything profound, and then I started puking, and really bad. And it was during songs of I Love You Again. And I was just like, I started puking. And then they ring the dong to get more. And I just got done puking, and I'm like, like I'm drained, Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, I got to get up, and I want to do more. Because I promised myself, no matter what happens on this trip before I went, I was like, I'm going to do as much as I can every time they offer it to me. No matter how I'm feeling, I'm going to go up and get more. Because I want the full effect. I want to be in outer space. I want to find out answers.
Yeah.
So I was gung-ho about it. But I'm laying on the mat, and I can barely get up. I'm just like, I'm trying to self-talk to myself. Like, come on, man. You got to man up. Get up. Get some more of this drug, and let's,
Yeah.
Let's see Brooklyn. So finally I get up. I was like the last one. I came out, and I'm stumbling. And I'm like, walk up to the guy, and he's just like, hey, man. And I was like, I want more. And he's like, okay, what does your heart tell you? I'm like, my heart tells me more. And I'm looking at the guy, and he has, I don't even know how many eyes. But his eyes were all over his face, up his head, everything like that, just like in those pictures, I guess. Yeah. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, maybe I don't need any more right now. And he's like, why don't you sit down on the mat and just call me over if you do, And
yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Were the eyes all like blinking and shit? They were real eyes?
Huh?
Like his eyes, were they all like blinking?
Yeah.
They were like looking at you?
Oh, yeah. They were blinking, yeah. All up and down his whole face was the eyeballs. They're like on his face. And it was so realistic. It's not like you're looking at it and it's like you like on acid, you're like, oh, yeah, I kind of see.
Yeah.
So, like, these were eyeballs all over his face, blinking. Like, I was just like, holy fuck, this is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Like, I can barely see you, dude, because all I see are eyes.
So not like not like
creepy, but I loved it.
Not like your typical like mushroom or acid where it's like it's not like a full on hallucination. It's kind of like a trail or a this or a kind of a thing you see in your mind.
Yeah,
this is like you're actually looking at it.
Like I said, it's so beyond what acid and shrooms are.
Right, okay.
Well, I've done acid, I've done shrooms. I thought I got off pretty hard on trips. This was nothing like it.
Man.
This was like you're not
Christ.
telling people, oh, I saw this because it, oh yeah, the wall melted into me. No,
yeah.
If the walls had arms and grabbed you, and because people are, you see some fucked up shit.
I want to do this.
And I went to, so my third night, I just went into a full on, like, what's the word for it? Possession mode.
Ah.
I guess.
In this
trip? There, when I was outside, I was sitting there, and I'm, like, looking at the fire, and I'm looking at this girl, and I'm just, like, I'm seeing her, like, dance in the fire, and the other girl sort of in back of her, just sitting up with her eyes shut because she's journeying,
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, man. I'm like, maybe I should get down to this, So I lay back, and I'm laying there, and all of a sudden my eyes start, like, flickering, And again, I have no eyeballs. right? So, but I sit up and I start seeing this, like I'm this person, this Indian person, and I'm seeing my kids walk around. I see the girl, my wife. I was just like, I was in this field. I was like, holy shit. And then when I came, now when they turn on the lights, it's kind of weird. Because when they turn on the lights for it to be over, it's almost like triggers your brain to snap out of it.
But you were living as this Indian dude in a field, like you were him?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Absolutely.
Did you have any perception of like how much time did it seem like was passing during like
no? You have no concept of time at all.
So you're
none.
So now
when the lights come on, you're just like kind of confused, like, wait, what's going on? And you're like, then you just start seeing some people get up, like it just triggers it, and then you're like, oh, I'm not journeying anymore. I'm done. I'm not seeing anything. I'm back into deep thought. But some people keep on going, and those are probably the people that took more. I never got the.
You never got the little fucking the booster.
So no, I was like I said, I was a different person. I was just like, I don't think I need anything. I was like I said, I felt possessed. I didn't feel like I was me anymore. I was just sitting there, and I was sitting very proud, and everything just made sense. And I was just like, I get it now. I get why I am the way I am. I get certain things in life. I need to know what I need to do, because there's this, kind heart, but yet also this monster, and you have to have that monster, and you have to have that balance between the two. And you can't hold resentment. Like almost like everything just starts changing in your mind that last night. Like everything.
Really?
You're just like, I get it now.
Okay, this sounds pretty.
Everything's just going to work out. This is life. We're all VIP here. This is Earth.
Huh.
Everyone, and it's a mindset. A lot of it's a mindset.
And what was the?
You can harbor anger and bad things that happen to you and stuff like that. You can harbor all that stuff. And all it's going to do is just bring you into a mean and, hateful person and bitterness. I have a lot of disappointment and anger, and I just let it go. And there's no point for it. Why do I want that energy? I was so much better when I was on Ayahuasca. I just felt love for everybody and this connection, to everything. And just realize these are people, if one person doesn't like you, you don't have to worry about it. It's fine. That's just them. That was part of that energy was there, and it faded. But your energy, can connect with another person's energy, or just connect. I use the word energy, but it's everything about. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like you start seeing it in a sort of a different light, and it's like, wow, all these energies are just, floating around, and we're drawn to certain people.
Can I ask you what was the culmination of your experience as this Native American person? Was there a particular lesson or kind of moment there?
No, I think that's when it sort of like took shape, like it was like showing you, like, I don't know why it wanted to show me it that much, but it was like, cause I already saw it and I already felt like I shared it, but then it was just like, well, do you want to see what it was like being him? It was almost like the drug that last night. Was like we showed you what you needed to see.
So you got
what you wanted out of this. Let's just enjoy transferring bodies for you for however long it was. I have no clue.
Okay,
could have been a minute. Could have been 30 seconds. It could have been an hour. I had no clue.
Did you get the sense that this was a past life for your energy?
I felt like it was a past life. Yeah. Someone that died and their energy sort of made its way, a little bit of the energy, maybe all of it. I have no clue.
Now, can I ask you this?
Passed to me, which makes sense.
Were you able to ask this guy where he may have left any arrowheads for your old pal Vinny to go dig up?
No.
Add to his collection? No?
Yeah, well, you know what? Next time, don't be so selfish. Yeah. Ask a couple fucking heirloom questions.
So when I got done with it, you saw all the people, that were there to heal. And then you hear everyone talk, and then you talk about, like, benefits of what you saw, and you just, like I said, you hear all the people talking and telling their story and what they went through and what they overcame. It was like you were so grateful and just be like, wow. And the way now you got everything that these facilitators did, why they did it in the order that they did it in, and all the things that they were saying in the first part was coming more clear. Like, oh yeah, like I totally get what you were saying. Well, I thought I heard what you were saying, but now I get it.
Huh.
And
so would you say it was a life?
This was more of a medicine than it was a drug.
Yeah. Would you say that it was life changing?
I would say it's life changing for some part. You know, it's going to be real. I could tell that it's going to be hard to maintain.
Yeah, that feeling of connection and stuff.
Bring you back into its craziness.
Yeah.
You know, you're like arguing about stupid things, and you know, like it's really hard. And you just see it, and you like. I felt really sad. I remember telling people, you know, it's like the world's a really sad place, man. These, you know, power hungry people are just, you know, I mean, it's just you start seeing things like, what was that? The Dalai Lama. You see it for what it is. You know, like, yeah, man, these people that are just going around, there's con men and you know, narcissists.
Deceivers.
Like, it's crazy. And that these are the people that run the world. And I'm like, but it's sad, but there's nothing I can do about it because it'll never change. Because these people have a hold on everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow.
So let me ask you this in sort of conclusion. And that's fucking insane. So basically, both of you.
I just want to say thank you for being candid and describing that all to us and keeping it personal and being honest. That was really cool, man. Yeah.
And also, I think you've also sort of talked me into.
I want to do this.
We're
both salivating
I would
right now.
suggest it to anybody.
Yeah, we're both basically
anybody
drooling.
and everybody. I think there's something. Even if you're totally happy, something will happen. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He did it. Now, I don't know. You know, I can't tell about the person he is, but I know he did it, and he's like millionaire. Plays for a living, and he benefited from it. You know?
No, I could definitely see where. Well, yeah, I don't even. But also, it's pretty scary to think about because I got a lot of shit in there, and
I mean, it's going to be fun. I mean, so if he says
I could see you being the one puking the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
So he says it compared to...
But the thing is, it was disturbing at the first. By the last night, when you heard people puking, you were cheering them on. Because you know they're getting rid of...
Because they're doing something productive.
It's almost like puking and being like, I don't need that anymore. You know, I don't need to hold on to that anymore. That's
so
tearing me down as a person. And I was dwelling on it. Don't need it.
Oh...
And then grow up and be like, it's gone. Get out of here.
So how is it? So you said it's been hard to like maintain that feeling though. Like what? Like the next day you probably were on fucking cloud 9 still. The next day, but then it just sort of fades.
Found a vendor. Everything started working out.
Yeah.
I was looking for a vendor this whole time I've been back in Illinois to, you know, and then all of a sudden the next day I get back. It's like, hey, do you want to go meet this guy? He's, you know, maybe we met him. He's just like, oh yeah, I get to buy you with this and this and this. And I was like, oh yeah.
So shit just started working out. That's pretty fucking crazy.
Got a job, you know, side job or whatever. Now it's just a business job.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, now I know what to do. And just get really rolling.
Shit, man. All right. Well, you've convinced me. See a lot of people in the chats this whole time saying this was fucking a riveting story.
People are into this.
Thank you. Well, I didn't read the comments yet because I've been on the phone, but I'm gonna get off and listen to you guys.
All right, man.
It was a pleasure. I know there's points where I felt like I was rambling a little bit, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Do you know what though? That's
I tried my best.
That's the nature of these type of experiences too, and it's with, if you could call this a psychedelic or something, it's like there are these like this roller coaster of mundane, and then like just kind of stillness, and then back to
the way you told really it actually made it more like I understood it more.
Also, I'm on mushrooms right now.
Oh yeah, Vinny is on mushrooms.
So it was really cool, but
yes. All right, man. Well, we won't keep you anymore. Thank you, brother. Right. That was awesome. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, brother. Man. All right, man.
Jake, thanks for having me on.
Hell yes, dude. Thank you. All right, we are going to